Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. And this evening, I'm going to do some pre recorded content. It's going to be based on the show that I used to watch. It's called Welcome to Sweetie Pies. And if anybody is familiar with that show, the show was on the OWN network. That was the Oprah Winfrey Network. Now, the matriarch of the family, her name was Robbie Montgomery. Now, Robbie Montgomery was a backup singer for Tina Turner. Robbie Montgomery was born in Mississippi, but she grew up in St. Louis. Now, the individuals that I'm going to be talking about in tonight's video are Andre Montgomery and Tim Norman. These two individuals are going to be significant. So I'm going to title tonight's video, Welcome to Sweetie Pies. Topic of tonight's video is Welcome to Sweetie Pies. Let me share my screen. Now, again, if you are not familiar with what Sweetie Pies is a small chain of restaurants that are owned by Robbie Montgomery in St. Louis. Now, it was her oldest son, Tim Norman, who basically, I'm going to say, pulled the strings for her. Somehow he convinced his mother to go on to the OWN network with his mother's restaurants. Now, prior to the restaurants that they had in Houston and LA, they had 3 or 4 of them in St. Louis. Now, again, looking at everything, I was shocked myself. But Sweetie Pies fans are shocked at Tim Norman's arrest. Again, Sweetie Pie fans are shocked at Tim Norman's arrest in connection with an alleged murder for hire plot to kill his nephew. Now, fans of the OWN reality television series, Welcome to Sweetie Pies, are all in shock over the arrest of Tim Norman. Now, of course, Tim, he served some time in prison. He served 10 years in prison. Also, Robbie Montgomery had another son named Derek who was killed in Texas. And her sister also had a son named Aaron. I believe it was Linda. He was also killed in the streets of St. Louis. Furthermore, Tim Norman's father was murdered in the streets of St. Louis. Now, if you don't know what Sweetie Pies is a soul food restaurant based in St. Louis. Now, as I told you before, Tim Norman sat in prison for 10 years. He is currently sitting in a Mississippi jail on charges of allegedly working with others in a plot to kill his own nephew, Andre Montgomery. Now, viewers of the show are basically confused over the devastating turn of events. Now, here's a recap. Fans of the show remember the Montgomery family matriarch, Miss Robbie. Now, what she did, she moved Andre with her from Texas so she could keep the teen out of trouble. Now, with the assistance of Miss Robbie, Andre's transformation became the viewer's favorite to watch. He worked alongside Miss Robbie and her son, Tim Norman, and he also graduated from high school. Now, Andre Montgomery was 18 when Miss Robbie brought him to St. Louis from Texas. Now, St. Louis is a bad city. I know Nellie is from St. Louis, but I just hear bad things about St. Louis. and of course, East St. Louis, Illinois. But we're talking about St. Louis, Missouri. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play you a video so you know who Tim Norman is and you know who Andre Montgomery is. Fair use.
You know how much money I saved at the restaurant by doing this ourselves? We save at least $4,000 a week.
A lot of money.
$4,000 is a lot of damn money, man.
A week, yeah.
Yeah. What's 4 times 4?
8.
Today I'm gonna take Andre to the restaurant depot. Recently, Andre told Mom he's interested in getting into the family business for real. So Mom asked me to take Andre along with me on my weekly supply run to see if he's really serious or not. You got on leather pants. I just noticed that, man.
Not one onion, the whole bag.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
Now, in this video, Tim Norman, who is Robbie Montgomery's older son, is trying to get Andre into the business. Of course, Tim was one of the managers. Now, Andre was also an aspiring rapper. Tim Norman, he tried to do some rapping. He also had a child with a young lady by the name of Janae. Fair use as I continue this content regarding Tim, who's initiating Andre Montgomery into the family business to see if the restaurant business is for him. Again, fair use.
Play football, man. Come on.
Where we put his
Right there.
Oh. Man, I am creasing up my shoes.
Sweetie Pies is like a big fraternity. And right now, Andre's getting hazed. The pepper is right there.
Them things are there?
All right.
These things?
Yep.
That's one.
Okay, Andre.
Huh?
This is whole pepper. We use crushed pepper.
Now, as you see, Andre, he's not very bright right now. Tim asked him what 4 times 4 is, and he said 8. He didn't even know which type of pepper to use. But again, I believe Robbie Montgomery did the right thing by taking her grandson from a situation that was troublesome. However, St. Louis is also troublesome, just like East St. Louis. And this basically connects to a few live streams that I've done on the violence, particularly black on black crime. Now, of course, Miss Robbie, who's matriarch, and Tim is going to tell you when I play another video about his family on what's missing. Stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, for your listening pleasure, fair use. Have more of Tim and his nephew, Andre Montgomery.
In the beginning, Andre thought this was gonna be a piece of cake. I'm trying to break Andre into the business, literally.
What we get now?
Nothing, man. Just a couple more things. We almost done, man. So how you feeling so far?
Right. I'm feeling good about it.
I'm glad you're coming to help me, bro. You know, I know I give you a hard time sometimes, but I want the best for you. How old are you?
18.
18, man. You know where I was at when I was 18?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and this work is easier compared to the work they got you doing in there. When I was Andre's age, I was in prison. So I want him to recognize and make the most of the opportunities he has. All right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think you need to take advantage of the situation right now, man, and make the best of it. Overall, for first day, I say Andre did pretty good. I mean, we did give him an extra hard time, but he'll be ready for the next time. There's a lot of stuff we do all the time you have no clue about, bro. And our whole family depends on this restaurant, man. That's what I want you to realize. You know how much money I saved?
Now, again, if you're not familiar with Welcome to Sweetie Pies, I'm going to review it for you. It's a soul food restaurant. So cabbage, fried chicken, catfish, potato salad, collard greens, mostly what Black people eat. It's Southern cooked food. Now, dealing with Andre, as I get back on track, his life came to a tragic end, and someone killed Andre while the aspiring rapper came to St. Louis just to make music. So Miss Robbie expressed regret for Andre being in St. Louis at the time of his death, believing that the city was not a good place for him after high school graduation due to the city's high crime. Now, although Andre didn't sound bright, he was able to graduate from high school because right now the family has been mourning Andre Montgomery, and Tim is also included in the mourning purpose. Now, Miss Robbie made it clear she believed Andre's murder was a setup. Andre received a phone call moments before his death. So according to a TMZ report, Andre was staying at a hotel when somebody entered with a key and took his belongings. Again, Andre was staying at a hotel, which someone entered with a key just to steal his belongings. So we already know something is up there. Now, viewers of the show remember the family's grief, including Norman, Tim Norman. That's the Norman I'm talking about. During one episode, Norman and Miss Robbie visited the scene of Andre's murder. And of course, Andre's father, as well as Norman's father, were both murdered in St. Louis. Let me give that to you again. Two black men, Tim's father and Andre's father, were both murdered in the city of St. Louis on the St. Louis Strip. Now, fair use, let you watch Miss Robbie as she has a reflection on the death of her grandson, Andre Montgomery.
From the clip that you guys did a lot together. How did this affect you?
I think I took it a lot harder than I should have.
Now, the gentleman doing the talking right now that's Charles. Charles was also the one who was considered the lazy one, but he ended up being a hard worker, and Miss Robbie really loved Charles. Now, again, Miss Robbie Montgomery was a backup singer for Tina Turner. Miss Robbie was a backup singer for Tina Turner. Now, she believes that Andre's murder was a setup, fair use.
And I know there was nothing I could have done or should have done, but when I got the call, my mother called me and told me, I just...
Is there any message that you would want to give to someone who has a gun? What would you say to them if they have a gun and they got a gun and they're in the streets?
You live by the gun, you're gonna die by the gun. That's what.
Now, Miss Robbie also had a couple of sisters. Jan was one of her sisters. She's the one talking. Linda was another one of her sisters. And of course, Miss Robbie. And she tells you, you live by the gun, you die by the gun. So in essence, she's telling you that living that street life is a short life. Fair use.
What we've always heard.
And it's your young man, your peers that you're killing. And what about the family? People don't realize it. Even when the young men go to jail, it affects the family. To pick up a gun is easy, but to take somebody's life that you can't give and can't give it back, that's devastating.
Why does our community experience so much loss?
Why does our community experience so much loss? Tim Norman is going to give you that answer right now. Fair use. Fair use. This video is not for monetization. It's for education.
I think with the absence of males in the household, there's a emasculation of young black men. You know, we're all raised by women. So when we finally get out the house at 13, 14, the streets there's a draw because you're around other men. You know, so that's why we're drawn to the streets. We're drawn to be a part of that tribe or the gang, or whatever you want to call it, whatever's happening in the neighborhood. We don't have a lot of positive examples of guys going to college and getting a job and being successful. We don't see of course there are black doctors and lawyers, but we don't see those examples.
Now, if you look at this panel right now with the family, Kim Whitley is the host. She's sitting in the middle. With everyone else, except for Tim and Charles, they're all women. And Tim mentioned it. Without that positive role model, these men are drawn to the streets. And when you're drawn to the streets, your life could end quickly, because what's going to happen is somebody's going to get killed over something silly. And generally in the streets, groups, gangs, they mark their territory. Fair use.
So that's why we follow down those paths, because that's what we know, that's what we see.
How do you?
Now, getting back into the Welcome to Sweetie Pie's extravaganza, which is not sweet right now. During an OWN special, OWN is the Oprah Winfrey Network, Tim Norman stoically speaks of the senseless crime and impact on her family. He says, Charles and I are the only boys left in this generation. Norman says of he and his younger cousin, we've lost the entire family to violence. As mentioned, his younger brother, Derek, was killed in Texas. Andre's father, Tim's father, were both killed on a St. Louis strip in St. Louis. Now, when it comes to the reports, well, they've surfaced about the arrest of Tim Norman and the death of Andre Montgomery. Now, again, Andre was 18 years old when he came up from Texas. He did graduate from high school. So, in a shocking turn of events, Norman is currently serving time in prison for the alleged role in Andre's death. Now, Riverfront Times report reveals the FBI is charging Norman and others with murder for hire. Again, the Riverfront Times report has revealed that the FBI will be charging Norman and others with murder for hire. So, in other words, someone paid to have Andre Montgomery murdered. Moving on. The report alleges that 2 years prior to Andre's death, Norman took out life insurance policies on his nephew totaling $450,000. Now, the policies reveal Norman as the sole beneficiary. Reports also reveal Norman's attempt to take other policies out on Andre. The other applications were flagged for fraudulent information regarding Andre's income and occupation. Now, the days leading up to Andre's murder, investigators say Norman communicated with co-conspirators on burner phones, including to get Andre's location. Moments after Andre was shot, investigators claim that Norman and others continued speaking on the burner phones. Now, a burner phone is basically a phone that can't be tracked, but it can be tracked if you turn on the GPS. Now, 4 days after the murder, Norman allegedly tried cashing in on the policy, but never did, so as he could not provide the proper documentation. And of course, there are a lot of fans who watch Welcome to Sweetie Pies, and I was one of the fans. Now, I didn't even know about this until shout out to Sweet Chocolate Tommy Jean for sending me this information. Don't care how old it is. Sweetie Pies was a black-owned business, and it did a lot of good in St. Louis. And this is the problem. When we get something, there are jealous people out there who don't want you to have it because they want what you have, and they'll do anything to get it. Shout out to Ringo for calling it Benny Blanco. This is why I say even family is overrated. You cannot do business with family. Tim made his fair share of mistakes. He wasn't very good with money. He didn't understand the business of running a restaurant. He had so many ideas that wouldn't work, and he used to sneak behind his mother's back to try different things to help the restaurant. But in the end, when you're running a business, particularly a restaurant business, because I worked in a restaurant business for years myself, there are a lot of expenses, particularly with food costs and labor. So moving on. Norman's involvement in Andre's death as fans of the show furious and devastated. Many are calling out Norman for greed and sending their love to Miss Robbie. Again, my heart goes out to Miss Robbie. She did something positive, but her son let her down. In fact, she actually let her son pitch the reality show to Oprah, and what it did to her family, it really destroyed Miss Robbie's family. So Tim Norman is sick to have conspired to kill his nephew over money. Now, others claim that they're not in shock. But when it comes to Miss Robbie, she was riding with him when he got out of prison. So this is the heartache she will have to endure the rest of her life. And as of today, the Montgomery family has not released an official statement on Norman's arrest. Now, again, the star of owns Sweetie Pies, Tim Norman, denies his ex's claim of him being an absentee father. Now, the drama, of course, between the stars of OWN's family-friendly reality series Sweetie Pies is far from over after a social media battle between former Ike and Tina Turner background singer Miss Robbie Montgomery and her former daughter-in-law, Janae Wallach. Janae Wallach was married to Tim Norman. Tim Norman is sharing his side of the story. Norman is denying Wallach's claim of him being an absentee father. Among other shocking allegations, he claims that Wallach has been bitter since their breakup and is vindictive in her parenting style. Now, of course, Janae Wallach accuses Tim Norman of being an absentee father again as they split in 2014 after a tumultuous relationship. Wallach moved on and married Arthur Shivers, a fitness enthusiast, and the two welcomed a son together. Despite Wallach's new marriage, she remained close to Norman's side of the family, particularly mother Miss Robbie. But Miss Robbie says that in recent weeks, Wallach has not allowed her to spend time with her grandson, Timmy, whom Wallach shares with Norman. She made fans of the show aware through a now deleted Instagram post wishing Timmy a happy birthday. And again, happy birthday, Timmy. Grandma loves you, even though I can't see you. Your daddy's side of the family misses you, and one day we'll see you soon. She captured a photo of her with Timmy. Fans questioned why Wallach would keep Timmy away, and Wallach denied Miss Robbie's claims. The two shared differing accounts of what's been taking place through multiple social media posts. So Wallach insisted that up until 2 weeks ago, her and Miss Robbie maintained a close relationship, but accused Tim Norman of causing issues between the two. She also denied keeping Timmy away from Norman, alleging that Norman is intentionally absent and has been for the past 4 years. Again, fair use, fair use. With the murder, I'm going to set off some drama here with Tim and Janae's, 's, 'big fight. Fair use. 's, 'big fight. Fair use. With Tim and Janae's big fight. Fair use. 's, 'big 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 fight. Fair use. 's, '
praise, all you devils. We're going to have prayer. If you want to join us, you can. Come on in here.
Oh, Heavenly Father, first off, we want to come thanking you for blessing us with another day. Thank you for letting Sweetie Pies be open and in business. Lord, we ask you to bless this day.
Yes,
bless
Lord.
every customer that comes into this restaurant. We ask for no drama.
Yes,
in the name
Lord.
of Jesus.
Yes,
We
Lord.
ask that we all get along and that we just have a successful day in your name. Amen.
All right. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
What is they doing? Yeah, they in for real, yeah. They is.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light.
Baby, I can take him back home. I can put him in my car and take him, then you don't have to strap him in this way.
Well, right now you see that Tim is a little aggravated because he wanted to take the child, his child, but of course, Janae, who is Tim's ex-wife, she didn't want that to happen. Now, again, Tim is allegedly an absentee father. And see, I'm playing this because different things have revolved. You see, black men have been told that they're bad fathers, when statistics show that black men are the most involved fathers out of any race. But again, in the black community, the divorce rate is much higher than any other community as well. Now, Tim has had a lot of problems. Again, he's sitting in prison for co-conspirating or murder for hire to have his nephew killed for a $450,000 policy. In this one, we're going to see the big fight between Tim's ex-wife, Janae, and Tim. Fair use.
Yeah, baby. I don't know what Janae, calm down, calm down. Don't let him upset you. Where you at?
I'm outside.
Come on in. You know,
I don't know what his problem is.
don't worry about him. Just worry about you and your baby. I just got a call from Janae. She's really upset. She tells me that Tim just had a fight. So I asked her to come in so I can quiet her down and see exactly what's going on. And make room for you to sit for a minute so you can get yourself together.
I just really don't feel like this.
Yeah,
I really
leave
don't.
it
I don't
alone.
feel like this. Just go on
Leave it alone,
right
baby.
now.
Come on.
I'm about to just tell him to leave, just for like a while. He brings everything about me down. Like he's horrible. I've been trying as hard as I can just so that Timmy got the two of us together or whatever. But I'm like, I just can't do this no more.
When I was talking to Janae in the office, I knew things were bad between them, but I didn't know it was this bad. I feel sorry for Janae. She's a nice lady.
So this is what happened. We get here, and I guess we missed prayer. So then he comes around in my car. He was like, we already missed prayer. So then he takes Timmy from me. He was like, nah, I'm just going to take him home. I'm like, you barely know how to strap him in. You don't.
And there's the fight when she took Timmy away from her. There's the fight. But see, one thing about a mom, and I can say this about my mom, if I'm in the wrong, my mom is not going to always be on my side. And Tim's mom is hearing both sides. But again, Tim has been working very hard. I mean, he got out of prison. He tried to make something of himself by working in the family business. Now, I did not believe that the family business was suitable for him. Now, of course, what you are seeing in these clips, you're seeing no men around, no positive men for Tim. Andre didn't have any positive men. You see the matriarch, Miss Robbie, she's trying to run her business and trying to run her family. And when those two situations collide, you get a downfall. of family. You can't trust other family members. And when you have the whole community doing this, the community is destroyed. Fair use, as I continue.
Don't have a base and you got an attitude problem, like you're not taking him. So I'm like, I'm gonna go home, like I'll grab him, I'll take him anyway. Then he gets pissed off and then he speeds off into wherever. I'm like, what the is your problem?
It's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary. Like, we have everything that we could possibly want in life.
Right.
I'm like, everything we could possibly want. And you can't sit back and be happy for 2 seconds.
Right.
What is your problem? Like, what is wrong with you?
I'm feeling disbelief right now. Like, what is going on? Is it really that big of a deal that we miss?
Now, Tim and Janae were married, but at this time, Janae is Tim's fiance.
Prayer. I mean, I feel like there has to be something bigger that's going on in his mind, and he's just not telling me.
I wouldn't let him get to me. I'm gonna say, Tim needs to get his head on straight, not just for Janae, but for himself. I can imagine he's a very unhappy person, but Tim's got to realize that the world doesn't work like that. You cannot be mad at the world. All right, see ya. We're gonna see you later.
Well, again, dealing with Janae, Miss Robbie, who's Tim's mother, threatened to take Wallach to court for grandparents' rights so that she could spend more time with Timmy, and accused Wallach of being money hungry and angry that Norman ended their relationship. Wallach shot back with her own claims of Norman being abusive throughout their relationship and pleaded with Miss Robbie to stop meddling between co-parents. Now again, Tim was alleged of being a bad father. And normally you get a number of women who will take the child and they blame everything on the man. And of course, there's the other side where the man is blaming everything on the woman. Well, Norman, for the most part, has spoken out to deny the allegations placed by Wallach. In a lengthy Instagram video, Norman admits that he and Wallach have co-parenting issues, but said that Wallach is at fault. He told a story of Wallach allegedly having him set up to be arrested during a typical drop-off with their son. Again, he told a story of Wallach, Janae Wallach, allegedly having him set up to be arrested during a typical drop-off with her son. Fair use, Janae reaches a breaking point. Fair use.
I just can't do this no more with him.
What happened?
I got there and Monique, she was like arguing with Tim, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, I'm not even trying to talk to you. Tim is like, this doesn't have anything to do with you. I'm like, but it does, because whoever that was being disrespectful to Mo.
Right.
And then I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? I don't even care about the fact that you have an assistant, but include me.
Right.
Include me.
Right.
Have me help you make the decision. She's gonna be all up in all of our business. Everything. The money that's made at the restaurant, anything that we do with houses, whatever, everything. She's gonna be included in all of it. And you're having conversations with her behind the scenes without me even knowing.
Tim's got to wake up and realize what's going on. I mean, I don't even know anything about it, so it's hard for me.
Again, I believe that Tim was having some other personal issues as well. And here's what's happening. Tim needs some help. And this is what happens when you don't have men around. These women, they appear to not care about Tim's interests. They're only caring about their interests. Now, this is what I'm getting out of the video. And Janae, she's not getting her way. She's acting like she's the victim. However, Miss Robbie wanted grandparents' rights so she can see her grandson. And generally, when the mother has custody of the child, a lot of things happen. She wants child support. She's going to try to stop the father from seeing the child. She's going to stop the grandparents from seeing the child. This was a series, it may have seemed happy. What I'm doing is going behind the scenes. And of course, some of these scenes were on the television show. But again, Miss Robbie did everything she could do to run a successful business. However, there were family members who got caught up in the wrong place, and that's why they were murdered. Fair use.
That's what I'm saying. He's hiding it.
Right.
I don't even trust him. I don't trust anything he says to me.
Oh, wow. I can't believe this. Here, baby. Don't cry. I know it's hard not to. Don't do that. You've done all you can. I gotta get to Tim, right? I'm for right. I'm for right. I just hate to see you being hurt like this. I don't care who is by. Oh, wow.
I'm sitting up here walking around looking like a idiot, wearing his stupid ass ring, acting like everything's gonna be okay. Well, he's laying up with me 4 nights through the week, telling me everything's gonna be fine, and then this is what you do.
And because Tim is my son, that doesn't make it right, but,
I just can't do this anymore.
Oh, wow. It's too much. Too much. Oh.
Well, with Tim currently being in prison, and he has allegedly plotted a murder for hire killing of his nephew for $450,000. Did anybody realize that Tim had a lot of stress as well? Tim was in prison before. Tim had his father murdered, his brother murdered. I don't believe Janae has taken that into effect. Now, of course, when it comes to victim, we always look at the woman's side. Now, again, this is not blaming everything on a woman, but I'm just showing you that I'm only getting one side of the story here. Tim has some issues, and he is starting to snap. Fair use, fair use. Let's get the other minute of this video on so I can get into my monologue and give you my synopsis of what I believe. Fair use.
Oh, Lord, I can't.
You give it to him. I can't do it. I love you.
Okay, I love you too.
And it's not going to change anything between me and you and TJ, but I just can't.
That's right.
I can't do anything else to help him. He's broken me. He's broken me.
And you can't let that happen to you.
I have to be able to be strong for TJ, and with him and me thinking with my heart instead of thinking with my head, I cannot do this. I'm like, this is not the person that I am.
I hate to see this happen. I really do. Boy. I really do. Well, maybe if you take a break and think, and then you might.
I just don't.
I'll have the ring here. So just maybe give you some time to think about it.
All right, I'm going to go.
Okay.
I just want to tell you what happened.
All right. That's not right. That's not right. All right. All right. I love you. I love you too.
Again, in my humble opinion, Tim just hasn't found his way, and he made a poor decision by having a baby when he hasn't been stable. Now, his mom has worked with him by including him into the family business. And I believe behind the scenes, Tim tried to sue his own mother. Again, this is why you don't invite friends and family to the party of business. Fair use, fair use.
I will. Okay,
I'll see you.
Okay, just calm down here. You okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
Again, she's saying, and this is Tim on Instagram. He's saying, correction, he said, the last time I picked up my son, I had him for about a half an hour, and you started blowing me up to bring him back because he had to do his homework and take a bath. As I get to the house, I take him out of his car seat. He ran to you. You standing in the garage, he runs into you. I'm bent over in the car. I'm getting his Happy Meal and his toys. I bought him in his backpack. You let the garage door down on me. And the police come out of the backyard. You had the police waiting on me in the backyard when I was coming to drop my baby off. You set me up. And as a result, Norman admits he has since refused to return to Wallach's home and prefers that she allows Norman to spend time with Timmy at his place. But according to him, she's made that difficult. He claims all was well until she stopped allowing Miss Robbie to see Timmy and that Wallach was doing things out of spite. Norman has also alleged that Wallach cheated with members of the Sweetie Pie's production crew, resulting in Owen having to switch crews. He also alleged that Wallach refused to film unless he was in scenes with her. He believes she's bitter over the breakup and says that she was the abuser in the relationship. According to Norman, he's broke after financing her lavish lifestyle during their relationship since the show ended. He also claims that Wallach reported his family to the IRS and stole money from a business that she started with his cousin. Though Wallach is married, Norman claims she contacted him crying for him to take her back the night before her wedding. Wallach isn't responding to Norman's claims. Now, again, I'm seeing a lot of alleged. And when something is alleged, I don't know if it really happened. But I will tell you this. Between the murder of Andre Montgomery and what Tim went through with Janae, there's a lot of bitterness there. And the person that's really going to suffer the most is the child. And I advise guys to do this. Be careful who you have your children by, number one. Number two, don't get in business with your family or friends. It doesn't work out. And I do believe Tim had all these outrageous ambitions that didn't work. Before you get involved in anything, make sure you're in a position to be involved. A lot of us have wants, but we forget about our needs. Tim got out of jail, and I just don't believe he wanted to work for his mother in the business. The business was an opportunity. He just failed at it. But plotting a murder to kill your cousin because you're a beneficiary, that's bad news. Now, Tim is arrested. There hasn't been a trial yet, but I'm just getting this information from TMZ. Now, I will say this about TMZ. I don't really trust them as the best news source, but I'm giving you something out there because I used to watch the show, watched it every Saturday. It's a very positive show. Again, Miss Robbie, who sang background for Tina Turner, couldn't sing anymore, and she started a business. Now, what Miss Robbie did, she hired too many family members, and I believe family took advantage of her. Tim was one of the family members who took advantage of her. Now, what I see with Tim is about to snap. He's angry. But Janae is very vindictive. She's using that child. I mean, if the mother had to basically ask her to see her own grandchild, and she said no, and then the police were called on Tim, that's a problem. She's using that child as a pawn, and she's blaming Tim for everything. But see, the sympathy choir is going to believe her story because that's what happens here in the United States. The laws favor women. They will always favor women, whether the woman is wrong or indifferent. But Tim needs some help, psychological help. And in the end, when you have no positive males as role models in your life, men turn to the life in the streets, and two things happen. They end up going to jail or they die. And that's my commentary for this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show right here on YouTube. If you like what I just presented, please comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are looking for some educational content, check out the QCIS channel, formerly the Mind of STEM channel. On that channel, I give you a daily dose of science, technology, engineering, and math. And also, you can check out my live streams every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time, where I talk about the hard-hitting issues that not many people, particularly in this space, are talking about. I'm giving you information from sources that I research. Now, if you cannot find the 411 Talk Zone radio show or the QCIS channel on YouTube, you can check both of those channels out on Twitter. And to go one step further, the QCIS channel is an educational channel. That channel can also be found on LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna leave you with this. Be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. Always know that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. And for individuals who can be offended by the truth, I say this: if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But if the shoe fits, wear it. If you don't like the shoe, change it. Once again, thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show here on YouTube. Till next time, my name is Leon Jones. I want you all to have a wonderful and gracious evening. God bless you. I'm out.